Hello, everyone. So I've been asked to introduce this session by Dr. Lanurenla about our lost and found indigenous languages. Language is, well, I mean, personally, I feel that language is what do you say, defines our culture, our roots to our ancestors, and I feel that language is one of the most important parts that defines anybody's personality, the characteristics, how they behave, and how they interact in their community. All the traditions and festivals are tied in so closely with our language, and it's such an important part of any individual's and community's identity. So I am really very fascinated to hear what Dr. Lanurenla has to say about this indigenous languages and find out more about it. So here we go. All yours, Aaron.
Thank you, Ravi, for that wonderful introduction. And before I start, I would like to thank Kirti for giving me this privilege. It is an honor to be one of the presenters of your masterclass. And I hope and pray that in the future, one by one, all our classmates will be able to share our stories, and perhaps we will be able to bring out with an album that is of a higher caliber and more meaningful than the coffee table book that we brought out during our reunion. Perhaps in the next reunion, we will have more stories to share. And very good evening to all of you. I am currently working as a principal of South Chang College. Besides that, I am also the head of department, literature division of academy. It is an indigenous language body, and I am also a translation associate of the Language Translation Center, which we founded in Fazl Ali College in the year 2022 because we felt the necessity of preserving our mother tongue. I am not equipped to be actually talking about indigenous languages per se, but I would like to share with you my passion and my commitment towards my mother tongue, which is the our language. Each of us, I'm sure, we have our own attachment to our mother tongue because in our mother tongue, we have our oral literature. Before writing came, each of us, all our societies, at one time, we were oral. And so every society, every community, every race has the oral literature passed down from our ancestors from one generation to another. And in our community also, we have our own oral literature. Plus, all of us, in one way or the other, we have our material culture, the artifacts, the costumes, the handicrafts. All these things are our material culture, the way we construct houses, the way we do our carpentry, and the way we use raw materials to build different things. That's part of our material culture, and these were handed down by our ancestors. We may have dropped some, we may have picked up some, we may have improvised on some, but all these belong to us. And irrespective of whether these material culture have undergone change or improvisation, they still belong to us. And we also have our own folk belief system, each of us, each community, um, the family value systems, the way in which society uh, has its own norms, its own rules and regulations, and so on. Plus, one of the most beautiful and creative things that each of us own is the folk performances, the dances, the songs, all these, the storytelling, all these are part of us. And why our mother tongue or our indigenous languages are so important is because the oral literature, material culture, folk belief system, and performances that has been passed down from our ancestors belong to us. No one can say that, or no one can steal it from us, and therefore, um, it is part of our tradition, it is part of our culture, it is our root and our identity. And we may try to copy from others, we may try to borrow from others, but we cannot own what belongs to others. But we are owners of our traditions, culture, roots, and identity. And when we talk about traditions and culture, it all boils down to one common denominator, and that is our language. So now, language is not just a medium of communication. If it were just a medium of communication, we would be we would be speaking in any language that we are comfortable with, and it would not matter. But with language, we also have our cultural nuances. And therefore, even when we try to translate or interpret from one language to another, sometimes we find that we are unable to translate emotions. We are unable to translate the folk stories or the idioms and phrases and the metaphors that are in the language. And that is why it is very important to preserve our indigenous languages. Even though a small minority of people may be speaking it, even though it may not be digitalized, it may not be of international or national importance or even state level importance, still then, even if it's spoken by a few of us, a minority of the people in a country or a state, we still need to preserve our indigenous languages, and we should try our level best to develop that language. Now, I just want to draw your attention to some newspaper clippings that I cut out and pasted here so that we can all look at how languages are dying all around us. This is a newspaper clipping of the last speaker of the Sari language in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Her name was Lichu, but when she died, her language disappeared along with her. And sadly, when a language disappears with the death of the last speaker, it is not only the language, but it is also her culture, her history, her stories that disappear along with the death of the speaker. And here also, you will find some newspaper clippings of one person by the name of Tak Bahadur Machi, who was the last speaker of the Machi language in Sikkim. And when he died, the language also disappeared. It became extinct. And so the story of that particular culture is now no longer narrated by anyone else. So, another endangered language, which I found in another newspaper clipping, is a language by the name of Ayapanico in Mexico. And you see a picture of a man, and according to the newspaper, uh, he is the last speaker of the Ayapanico language. He has a wife and a daughter, but both of them are unable to speak that language. So if he dies, his language dies with him. So that is one of the stories. UNESCO is working on promotion of indigenous languages, and it has come up with these five levels of how a language becomes extinct. Vulnerable. The first stage, vulnerable, when most children speak the language, but only in their homes, which means that they do not speak it with their friends or outside of the homes, only with the parents. So in a family like this, the language is vulnerable. Now, in the next stage, when the children no longer learn the language as a mother tongue in the home, the parents also do not speak that language at home, then it is definitely endangered. In the third level, when the language is spoken only by the grandparents and the older generations, and the parents may understand it, but they do not speak it, then it is severely endangered. And the fourth level is when the youngest speakers are grandparents and older, which means the elderly people. That generation only speaks the language, then it is critically endangered. And finally, when the grandparents and the elderly in the community are dead and gone, that is when the language becomes extinct. So each of us, perhaps we can pause for a moment and think about the stage in which our language may be, or even think about our homes, whether in our homes our children speak only English or whether they also speak our mother tongue. So this is that I would like each of us to think about. I would like to come to our language now, my community language. According to UNESCO, it is under the vulnerable stage. But if I should look at the families of my friends living in Kohima or Dimapur, I'm sure that um, they don't speak the language even at home. The children do not speak the language even at home. And therefore, the question is whether this is correct or not, or uh, is the our language in some districts becoming coming to the level where it is severely endangered. So that is one question I would like to ask our friends. And at the same time, we also have our other friends, Lota friends, Angami friends, and so on. So maybe you can also think about it, whether in your homes your children are actually able to learn the mother tongue from you or not. So that is what I would like to ask you. Now here, if your children are not speaking the mother tongue at home, they are unable to converse in your mother tongue, then I just want to say that we need to be on a culture survival mission, because if the language is lost, who will speak for you and who will tell your stories? Who will tell the stories passed down from the ancestors? So these are the things that we need to question ourselves. And therefore, I would like to call upon everyone that we should be on a survival mode as far as our mother tongue is concerned, if it is in the level of endangered or vulnerable, critically endangered, and so on. Now, coming to our literature, I was working on an assignment by the Sahitya Academy on compilation of our literature, and I went around many libraries trying to find how many books there are written in the our language, and I was able to come out with this. um, I'm not saying that this is comprehensive, There may be books that I have missed out because I search only in Impur, CTC, and the Ausenden Literature Library, and so on. So a few may be missing, but this is more or less a very sad picture of our literature. We have only 17 poetry books, 44 folk tales, 4 drama, 12 fiction, 31 biographies, 5 women narratives, 32 linguistics, 8 translations, 25 nonfiction, and 86 Christian literature. This is quite shocking because if we consider other literatures, then this is like, uh, uh, almost nil. So we had to do something. And that is why the Our Academy, we also took up some initiatives. We are currently trying to codify and standardize the Our language by bringing about a uniform spelling system and also bringing out dictionaries and thesaurus and things like that. And we are also trying our level best to introduce our language in the educational institutions, because unless children learn it in the schools and the colleges, somehow it will get lost. And we are we also have certificate courses in our language proficiency, and we also conduct capacity building programs for our language teachers. And we are in the process of developing school textbooks and also coinages of terminologies and so on, especially literary terms and literary techniques and so on. So that those are some of the initiatives of the Our Academy. But tonight, I want to especially emphasize on the Language Translation Center, which we founded. It's a collaborative effort of the English and the Out Department of Fazal Ali College. I was working there for 18 years, and that was when we started this. And our motto is retrieving identities, and our vision is to promote the our language and literature. We have a few objectives: to translate literary works in English to our, and the other way around. Also, to do research on our oral literature, translate them into English, to publish books on our language and literature. And somewhere in the future, we are also planning to offer certificate courses in language translation. But we are still unequipped as far as the fourth objective is concerned. We feel that we are not equipped because we still need to go for training, and we need to equip ourselves with what translation theories are and all those things. So for now, we are just taking the initial steps. And in the initial steps, these are some of the things that we have been doing. And we were able to start an OWL section in the library. And we collected all the OWL books as far as we could find in the markets. And then some books were out of print. So we went hunting from house to house. We requested the writers to give us one copy of theirs so that we could put it here in the library. And then we went down to Impur also, where the initial stages of literature took place. And there we xeroxed some rare books that were already out of print. And then we have xeroxed them, and we have collected in this our section of the library. But if you take a look at the shelves, you will find that the books are so little. And that is the pathetic condition of our literature at the moment. But what the language translation is doing, we were able to translate the Ao Naga customary laws for the Tubashi court of Mokokchung district, because they say that nowadays most of the administrators, they are either non-locals or they come from other tribes. And when there are court cases in the customary courts and all that, the district magistrate also needs to know about the rules and regulations, the customary laws, and so they wanted a copy and of the English version, which is why we translated the Ao Naga customary laws for them. The second project we took up was for the Ao Senden, which is the Abex Ao body, and we translated a document for them. It was a questionnaire on our customary laws. And the third project was to again assess the Aussenden to translate the origin and nomenclature of the Aus. Now, this document was used as a textbook for our students in the schools. So that was quite helpful. And another collaboration that we have done was with the RKM, which is the Our Students Conference. And along with NEZCC, we brought out a book called Our Kilong Usat. And in English, it means Household Crafts of the House. And since we wanted non-our speakers to also know about our household crafts, we translated it into English as well. So that's one collaborative work we did with the our students conference. And we also assisted the Ong Pang Kong Students Conference. Um, they they organized a poetry competition in the our language, and for the winners, they wanted to put it up on YouTube, but they also wanted English subtitles so that non-our speakers would understand what the candidates, the winners were reading out. And so we collaborated with the Ong Pang Kong Students Conference also. Another project we took up was with the Watsu Mongtang. The Watsu Mongtang is the epics of women's body. And they had a book called Len Beer, which we translated for them. And we are also working with the planning department. We work with the government in order to translate government documents. So these are ongoing projects. Another good news is that very soon we will be releasing a few books which we have translated. And the translations are The Wedding Album by Girish Karnat, which is translated into Ao. We have also translated the Bishop's Candlesticks. Now, if you remember, I told you that when we made a compilation of our literature, we had only 4 drama here. We had only 4 drama, and we wanted to expand on this, which is why we started with the translation of the wedding album and Bishop's Candlesticks. And these translations will be used as textbooks for undergraduate honors in Ao, because Fazl Ali is the only college in the whole world that is offering honors in the Ao literature and language as of now. And we will also be shortly releasing some books which are translations from Padma Shri Tamsila Ao's book called These Hills Called Home, and also stories from Padma Shri Sunga Ao. He has written in Ao, but since we are in short of drama, we decided that we will make adaptations of his short stories into drama. And we have completed the writing process, and the manuscript is now in the hands of the page setter in the press. Very soon we hope to release the books. And in order to publish these books, we have also tried our best to call upon people who would like to sponsor the publication of the books, because language translation center as such is just a small center that was set up by a few assistant professors from the English and the art department, which is why we actually do not have any funding at all. But fortunately, we were able to meet a very generous person by the name of Jim de Moliere, who donated 3 lakhs to us, out of which we were able to spend 1.5 to set up our office, and the remaining money is with us. We are hoping that we will be using that in order to publish these books. But meanwhile, we're also watching out for anyone who'd like to sponsor the publication of our books. Another program that we organized was an international conference in collaboration with the OW Academy, the language translation and the OW Academy. And it was an international conference on OW oral literature, language, and the oral tradition. And we were able to have a very productive session here, because as you can see, this is Dr. Tiadushi, who is also an excavator, an archaeologist who has excavated the Longtorok site, the origin site of the owls, and he has come up with some very, very interesting findings. Next, we also collaborated with Contact Base Bangla Natak and the German Consulate of Kolkata, and we were able to organize these workshops with the students. So these are some of the works that the language translation has been able to take up as of now, and we have more dreams of promoting the owl language, um, so that we want to upgrade it to the level of masters, and perhaps one day even students will be able to take up their PhD on the owl vernacular language, because a lot of linguistic research still needs to be done on the owl language, plus a lot of research needs to be done on the oral tradition, the oral literature, folk tales, folk songs, and so on. And these are our dreams and visions for now. And so we hope that all our classmates will support us with your prayers, and one day perhaps we will be able to fulfill our dream. So that is all from my side. If there are any suggestions that you would like to give us, or if there are any questions, I am willing to take them. Thank you.